Today I'm doing strawberry and asparagus salad. These are two of my very most favorite types of spring produce. So first of all, we're going to make a sauce with it. So I'm going to start with 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar. And we're going to cook this just until it comes to a boil. So I'm going to get the heat going on under this. It also has 2 tablespoons of strawberry preserves. Now, the thing that you need to remember as you're cooking this down is that because it's preserves, it's not going to completely dissolve. There's going to be pieces of strawberry, and maybe I'm only speaking from experience here, but that's what happened to me. Also have a 1½ teaspoons of Dijon mustard. You could use a spicier mustard with this too. I probably wouldn't use a honey mustard because you already have enough sweetness in this with the strawberries and the strawberry preserves. But you could use a spicy mustard or a brown mustard in place of the Dijon if you chose. And also just a little bit of about 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, and that's to kind of counteract and enhance the flavors of those sweet things that are in there already. We're just going to let that cook just a little bit, kind of keep it moving around a little bit, and I'll see if I can do that with one hand and talk about asparagus with the other. Now we are using asparagus, and it comes in all different types and widths, so we want to blanch it before we use it. And if you have thin asparagus like this, blanching means you're going to submerge it in hot water, and if it's thin like this, probably 2 minutes is all it's going to need. But on the other hand, you may have asparagus that's meatier, more like this, in which case it may need 3 minutes. We just want to cook it until it's crisp, tender, and then we want to stop the cooking immediately. It's very similar to what we do. In fact, it is exactly what we do when we blanch asparagus to get ready for the freezer. If it's really thin, we blanch it for 2 minutes, submerge it in ice cold water for at least that same 2 minutes just to stop the cooking. It also really makes the color better. As you can see, if I hold up this compared to that, it takes away a little bit of the soil or oils that may be on the plant itself, not oils, but air pockets and a little bit of the film that's on there, and lets you really see the color. It doesn't put more color in, it just lets you see the color that's there. So I've got I started with about 1 pound of asparagus, and keeping in mind that asparagus, this was asparagus that had been around a while. I wanted it not fresh from the garden. So it had the stems on it that I needed to snap off, and because if you're buying it that way, or if you had harvested it lower, then you're going to have a higher waste on it. So we needed 2 cups. I needed 1 pound to get about 2 cups. It's blanched and it's chilled in ice water. And I've got about an equal amount of strawberries here. 2 cups of sliced strawberries. If you have the smaller one, size really doesn't matter on this one. It's going to be great. On our sauce, that came to a boil, so I turned that off. I'm going to stir into it about 1/2 teaspoon of grated lemon peel or lemon zest. And this recipe is really coming together. That's about all there is to it. I have a bed of greens, and I'm going to stir the sauce into the strawberries and asparagus. It helps if it's cooled down a little bit more than this has, but normally you would do the sauce and then do a few other things first and give that sauce a little bit of time to cool a little bit more. Stir those together just to make sure everything is well coated. This recipe will make 6 salads, so about 1 cup of greens per each person. And you have a dinner that is almost to die for in my mind, since these are 2 of my most favorite types of summer and spring produce. I've got some toasted pecans, sprinkle those over the top just to give it a little bit more crunch. And that's all there is to it. This dinner is ready to go. It's strawberry and asparagus salad. I hope you'll try it. It's one of my favorites. For Oklahoma Gardening, I'm Barbara Brown.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.